That's right, folks. It's that time of year. I'm huge movie fanatic Nate reporting on October 9th, 2013, with beginning what we should probably do at this point, which is some Halloween-related horror movie reviews. I am in contact with Matt, and he would like to do some horror movie reviews before the end of October, but for me it's almost like a third of the way through October at this point. I'm having review withdrawal. There's a handful of movies Matt hasn't seen that I'm just gonna review because I can't take it anymore. I have to review. But the first thing that I'm going to review is something that came out October 1st. This is my first ever, or the first ever, basically product review on Huge Movie Fanatics. This is a Blu-ray review of, even though this is the Amityville horror trilogy box set, this is a Blu-ray review of Amityville 3D. I am in possession of a 3D TV, and this is like the first, basically, to me I know there's more 3D 80s movies, but for me there's Friday the 13th Part 3, Jaws 3D, and Amityville 3D. And unfortunately, the worst of all three was the first one to come out on Blu-ray 3D. But however, I'm still grateful that Amityville 3D is on Blu-ray 3D. Now, this came out, like I say, October 1st in this box set from Shout Factory. Basically, the criterion of horror movies and genre movies on Blu-ray. You gotta love the outfit. And there were all kinds of Blu-ray-.com, the actual official review, the image quality, it received a very low score, like I don't know if it's 1.5 or out of 5 or 2 or something like that. So I was kind of worried, and then some of the comments in the forum were kind of bad also. One of the things that first off I really love about the Blu-ray, of course, Shout Factory doing exactly what I'd do if I owned a Blu-ray and DVD company that puts out old catalog titles, is of course using, this isn't 3D, but using the original theatrical artwork for the cover, which gets huge points for me, because that's what you grew up with seeing, if you're my age, grew up with seeing in the video stores on the covers and everything like that. And I think part of, the movie was made at this time, and so is the art. And one of the big things I hate about what studios do now with old movies is make new art for old movies. The movies are still old, so use the old art. The art for me represents the time of the movie, so don't mess with the art. And a lot of times old art is a lot better than new art anyway. On to the review. So I put it in, I got it, I can't remember when I got it. I think I got it Monday, and it's Wednesday now, so I got it a couple days ago. And I put it in, watched this first, of course, because you gotta see what the 3D is like. And I was, at the end of the day, pleasantly surprised. And I'd give it probably out of, we'll just use the Blu-ray or Blu-ray.com grading, the 5, whatever they are. 5, we'll just say 5 stars. So for the 3D quality itself, I would give it maybe 3.5 out of 5. For the 3D quality. There were a lot of gimmicks that worked. One that in particular that just blew me away, was one of the best 3D shots I've seen on Blu-ray 3D anything, was the shot of the frisbee coming at the camera. That, obviously the exterior day or the bright scenes are going to work best for Blu-ray because you don't have a lot of that ghosting, which there is a lot of in some of the darker scenes. It's really, what's great about Amityville 3D is it's really aggressive 3D. They'll go like with the flashlight is like overboard, where it's like, okay, it's too much, but it's very 3D. It's not like Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, which is like they shot with 3D cameras but had it on the lowest 3D setting. It just absolutely makes no sense. But it's aggressive 3D. It's 1980s 3D, so it's really cool. It was the best thing in the world to see Amityville 3D actually in 3D, non-anaglyph, with full color and all that stuff. this guy right here strongly recommends the Blu-ray if you have a 3D TV, of getting the collection, the Amityville trilogy from Scream or Shout Factory, whatever the hell you want to call it. But very a hoot, because you grew up watching this movie for over 20 years and seeing just this kind of 2D bullshit. So for over 20 years I wanted to know what this actual stuff looks like in 3D, and now I finally get to know, and it's very cool, and it's very cool to actually have it on Blu-ray 3D. Some of the other standout moments are like the guy with the camera. He's checking the camera and he clicks it and pulls it back, and there's a shot at the very end when that Amityville 2 demon thing comes out of the well and breathes fire on that guy, and the fire is like really good. It doesn't come too far out, so it's actually, you know, it dissipates before it would go too far, but it's an exact perfect depth. Another thing that was great in that same scene is when the guys kneel down by the well and the water is splashing up in front of the cameras. It's like way in front of where the guy's face is here, and the water splashing up is way in front of them. There are, I didn't count them, but there are, very, very many great 3D gimmicks that actually work well in the movie. And I didn't, a lot of people were complaining on forums about eye strain and stuff, and of course that's going to vary person to person, and obviously each 3D setup is going to vary as well. But for me, I didn't really have any headaches or eye strain problems at all after watching Amityville 3D. So it's very exciting to actually own it in 3D. Oh, before I end, one thing that I just remembered to say is that there were two complaints about this particular Blu-ray. One being the title sequence being changed. Now I agree with the forum person who commented on blue-ray.com that it's probably just it's not like Shout Factory did it. It's probably a print that was made before the final one, and they probably decided to change it. And the one that we all grew up with the half of the Amity and the Ville coming out of the windows and then forming, and then the middle of it bulging out, is probably a fixed title, and this one was probably prior to that. And another thing some guy pointed out is a fly like that dances right in front of your eyes isn't there. That's in the fly scene, which it's negligible. He does make an appearance at the end by the well, so there he is. Yeah, strongly recommended, and in my opinion, I wouldn't listen to the naysayers on the web about the 3D not working. I mean, the 3D is great, and it was a hoot to finally see Amityville 3D actually in 3D, so I would recommend it. Thanks for watching.